Hi everyone, welcome back. Cowansim has brought the fourth model that they offer in X-Plane over to Microsoft Flight Simulator, the Bell 222B. I'm really enjoying the flight modeling on Cowansim's products. You can definitely feel the difference in each of the different rotor systems from all the models that they offer. The 222B here flies a lot like a Huey, but it's a twin, so you have twin engine management to deal with. This model is slightly different than some of the Cowan offerings. It's the first one to actually have the Asobo Microsoft Copilot. So you still remove the Copilot by the weight and balance screen, but you can change the Copilot with the Microsoft settings and which Copilot is on board. The other thing that's different is that the HEMS versus the corporate or executive loadout, those aren't changed by the weight and balance menu. Those are actually changed by the livery instead. So when you choose a Coast Guard or medical livery, you get the HEMS package installed, and when you choose any of the other corporate liveries, it has the executive or corporate seating, transport seating in the back. One nice thing about the HEMS version is that you can actually remove both the patient and the medic. They have click spots to turn them off, so that's pretty cool. It's a feature that people have asked for, but I wasn't able to find any click spots to turn off the passenger models for the corporate or the executive loadout. So when you have weight for those passengers, they appear. When you take the weight out, they disappear. For this mission, I'm using an add-on I got from flightsim.to. Here I am locating the scene and using a high recon circle to slow down initially and look for obstacles and plan my approach path. Typically you would do a high recon, a low recon, scouting for wires to make sure that you have a good approach into the wind, into the area. You don't want to create another emergency, so you want to be as safe as possible. Always think safety first, and what is the safest way in and out of a situation. After making my first circle, I should be slowed down enough to lower the gear and narrow in on my approach path. I want to keep my descent rate low. By the book would be less than 300 feet per minute, but I want to go a little slower than that. So in this approach, I'm maybe around 100-150 feet per minute in my descent rate. Not really watching the gauge so much as I am watching the sight picture and just slowly approaching my target landing. I want to stay above ETL so that I don't have to worry about VRS. I would have a real hard time as a pilot if I was working in a Bell 222 doing any kind of medical work. All the nurses and crew would get so tired of me because everyone in the backseat would be called Dom. I don't care who you are, and you need to cross-link the power inverters to get the boosters back, because in the back of my head the whole time I would just be humming. You can't help it. It's there. If you grew up in the 80s, Airwolf is in your mind every time you see this helicopter. This used to be like the iconic helicopter in my mind. Anytime I thought of helicopters, it was this one. I grew up watching that show. My taste, I guess, in helicopters kind of changed a little bit the more I got into aviation and started seeing more aircraft actual in real life. And then when I started learning how to fly, I really only ever had a chance to get my hands at the set of controls of Robinsons. So it would be wonderful to fly this, but honestly my next step up is probably going to be a Bell 206 older model. It's really what's available to you, what you can afford. Might possibly have access to one of these someday. The gentleman that owns the school that I flew at when I was training, he has a Bell 222, so if I cross my fingers, maybe I can save up enough money to maybe get a little bit of time and compare. Of course, I'd be happy to get my hands on any helicopter that I can right now. The only turbine experience I have is an R66, and it's a very nice, smooth machine. It's much nicer than an R44, although it practically looks the same. It's quite a bit different. It's still a two-bladed, semi-rigid teetering rotor system, though, much like the Bell 222, Huey, Bell 206. So it would fly very similar. You have a control lag input response that just comes with the teetering system. This model flies very similar to the DCS Huey and very similar to the X-Plane 12 twin, I guess. Twin. Sister model? I don't know how we would refer to that. I still use both simulators. X-Plane is still great. It has its advantages and disadvantages. Microsoft Flight Simulator is great. If you can afford to have them, which I know is not an option for everyone, but if you can have them and you have the space on your system, why not use both? As the flight modeling improves and matures in Microsoft Flight Simulator, though, it's really hard to pass up the scenery and photogrammetry areas. The urban sprawl here in California is just exceptional to fly through. You can get lost by all the monotony of saying. It's pretty cool. I'm also using the medical Helipads LA from Orbex, in addition to the HEMS mission that I got from FlightSim.to. I'll put the link for the FlightSim.to file in the description of the video. Again, I used a high recon circle to slow down and prepare my approach into the wind to the medical helipad here on the roof of the hospital, the closest hospital to the accident scene. And I just want to take my time, make a slow and steady approach, and manage my descent rate, keep it less than 300 feet per minute. Ideally, half that is good. It may seem faster to fly in at high speeds and perform a quick stop, but again, safety first, always safety first. So we want to make a slow approach so that we don't create a situation. The really nice thing about having a helicopter like the 222B for this type of work is the added reliability and safety of having the twin engine. So as I get further into this helicopter that's new to me, I want to start learning how to truly operate a twin, do single engine performance, because on a slow approach like this, there is always the risk of a mechanical failure or an engine failure, which would make a bad day for someone much worse. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Be safe, be kind, and we'll see you in the next video.